the diamond, Seafood.
Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Good to see everybody. Good morning, everybody. Y'all gonna have to excuse me, man. I'm fighting I guess a little cold trying to get me this morning. Well, it started yesterday. Out of nowhere, like right after the show last night. Just felt real ugh. So I'm trying to fight it off. Been drinking a lot of water, got some tea here, got some coffee over here. So I'm gonna just try to be drinking a lot of fluids, but it's perfect. It's perfect that we have a special guest coming on today. They should be showing up here in about 5-10 minutes. Y'all are very familiar with the young man, my little brother. Am I older? I think I'm older than Kenny. I might be. I might got Kenny by a few years. But Kennedy Lloyd Smith III from the AP, man, he'll be pulling up. And we're going to be having a good conversation about, this Alabama team moving forward. He was able to be there for media availability yesterday, and we'll be doing some post-practice reporting. It was crazy because we were texting and he was posting while the interview was happening, and you all know how we work. So it was good. Again, appreciate y'all for coming in. YouTube channel 29 in the chat already, only 5 likes. The first thing you should do when you come in here is hit that like button. Man, we're gonna have some good conversation today. We got some other perspectives popping in. The call-in shows yesterday, man, give it up for yourselves, AAA family. Y'all really showed out on the call-in shows the last 2-3 days, man. And I know it's a lot easier to get in, and I appreciate you, Lit House. DJ Graham, appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Good morning. My chat is just now coming up, so I'm sorry if I didn't acknowledge y'all. I was trying to buy some time, but I love when it kind of allows us to see where y'all see. I got my grits and everything. This is the Coach Smook Network. Y'all know I'm always eating, but it allows you to see like where everybody's fandom at, and there's different levels of passion. That's why I like to pick about the very passionate, emotionally driven fans. It's just a fun thing that I do. It's not, it doesn't say anything about your character or anything. If I could call you a fair weather fan, it's out of fun, man. It means if I even call you a fan, you should be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? At least you're a fan, right? You fair weather all day, that's cool. You know, at some point you gonna change. At some point you gonna change. You go get tired of having your emotions go up and down because of something you can't control, and you'll really buy into a bigger picture, and that's just enjoying the luxuries of being able to be a Bama fan in general. So we're in a good spot right now. We got some different viewpoints. We're going to talk about some different perspectives when it comes to how this team should move going forward. I don't get what they're trying to say on TikTok. What's up, big homie? I see y'all over there, man, tapping in. I see big homie Antonio. Okay, I see y'all tapping in. Everybody pulling up. Bama, NBA Reese. Y'all popping in with the gifts over there. Y'all give it up for TikTok, man. TikTok be coming in, dropping the bombs, boy. I'm telling you, man. They continue to support over there. Appreciate you, big homie Antonio. I see y'all with it. How many we got already? 61 total. Man, y'all look crazy right now, man. Appreciate y'all again. And y'all give it up for them guys, man. Back over here on YouTube chat. Let's do a roll call over here. Square Business, what's good? Roll Tide, man. Hollywood, the barber, good to see you. Mary J, you can take that over real quick. I'm about to switch the tune up for us real quick. Hollywood, my guy, how you feeling, man? I ain't seen you around here in a few weeks, man. It's been a few weeks, right? Was you here this past weekend? If not, man, welcome in. Greg, what's good? Roll Tide, my guy. Who else we got in the chat, man? Got Bama Boy 22 woke up still sick about it. Disgusting. Bama Boy 22, shut the See, I wasn't even trying to go there. Jordan, what's good, man? Roll Tide, man. Bama Boy 22, man. We gotta get his. Hey, somebody put him in the corner. We're going to the red room today. We're gonna put him in the corner. He need a timeout. What up, Smook? What up, man? What up, DJ? How you feeling? Good morning. Jackson. They call him Jason. Jason Jackson. What's up, bro? Roll Tide. Lit House, how you feeling? He said, good morning, Coach Smook. Keep going, man. Hey, look, y'all keep showing up. Ain't got no choice, right? That's all it is, man. We're doing it together. What up, William Dansby? Good to see you this morning. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Megan, good morning. Good to see you. What's good? This guy, Brandon Rose. I love how these Georgia fans pop out, after a Bama loss, and they don't look good themselves. Oh boy, but do they talking all that talk right now? They forget we got to come in at week 5. I can't wait. This is perfect for me, because when it all started happening for all y'all Bama fans that's fair weathering and giving up on the season, when it all started happening, guess who's gonna be standing off in the corner by themselves, still smirking and laughing, looking at y'all, shaking my head? This guy. I should have never jumped off ship, man. Week 1, y'all letting Georgia fans who took 40 years to enjoy something that we have been enjoying for a 16, 15 year span, y'all let them get under y'all skin. Auburn fans, at least Auburn could beat us every 4 years or so. Georgia fans, they're the laughing stock. Keep running back. Oh, we got the back in the back, man. You must forgot who did it first. Your coach was on the staff that did it first as a coordinator. Come on, man. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk to my brother Kenny. As soon as he pull up, I ain't even see him text back. If not, tomorrow, man, we got Mick Gillespie jumping in tomorrow, giving his take. If y'all haven't, Jordan, what's theirs? I don't want to mix it up again. What's Mick and Clint? I gotta say the right name. I gotta say the right team. Roll Tyrell, new game week. Let's run the ball 50 times against ULM. Ty shouldn't be throwing the ball more than 25 times in a game. What? Why not? I might have to open the phone line. Fat Mac didn't come and say good morning or nothing. He been sleeping on that. He was sleeping on that one, chat. Been on vacation, but I always go back and listen to the show. Appreciate that, man. Oh, our O-line can't pass block just yet? You remember that you're talking about the average of 3.8 seconds from snap to throw that he had? That you mean like that's not enough time for a quarterback to get off good passes and throw receivers in stride? Dang. How much time we need? Fat Mac? How much time we need? Tell me, talk to me. You know how long 3 seconds is, right? Let's do it real quick. I'll show you. Hold on. Chat, I know we like to do this. Yeah, I see that. All right. Ready? Down. Set. Hike. 3.86 seconds. That's how quick that was. Let's do it again. Down. Set. Hike. 3.85 seconds. That's how long that was. Hold on. Let me do it again. Down. Blue 80. Blue 87. Clap. Pause here. So the other day I was talking to my mom. Like, that's 4 seconds right there. That's what type of time he had. Like, bro, I just don't know. And that was definitely opportunities for him. But let's stop. Let's stop making excuses. I think we good. And it's gonna be a coming out party against Georgia. That's when it's really gonna start. That's when y'all really gonna start believing. I just wanted to know. I had to give him that time, that realistic, real life interaction of time lapsing. 3.8 seconds. And I don't know where you play football at, but if especially in college, if my quarterback had an average of 3.8 seconds from snap to the time to throw the ball, that's a lot of time, man. At the NFL level, they making decisions in 2.9s, 3.1s. That's a lot of time. There's a couple of screenshots out there with the pocket looking real nice on 4-man pressures. He just not seeing it. So, what is this? Let's be real. Y'all didn't look good at all. Both sides was terrible. Not talking as a Georgia fan, but a fan of football. I disagree. I think we look horrible on defense, especially after the third drive. Offensively, I think we can live with this offense, man. We just can't get away from the run game. And we gotta take our shots. I seen opportunities there, and I seen a lot that we could grow from. So effort was piss poor on both sides. Piss poor on both sides, especially from, some of your key players, key contributors, Ryan Williams, Josh Cuevas, guys that you supposed to be able to count on in big moments. Between the two is 7 drops or 6 drops between the two. Your lead tight end and you're supposed to be lead wide receiver. So yeah, kind of past that. We will be fine, but I do blame our coaches for Ty development. Last year when we was up big or down bad, put him in to get that experience. Man, I can see some of what you're saying, but I ain't with it. You've been on campus. You've been in college for 4 years now, man. 4 years now. And he got snaps last year. I mean, he had 500 something passing yards last year. He had 500 something passing yards. Like, what? How much more did y'all want? Let me see. Let's go to ESPN.com. Let's look at Ty Simpson stats from previous year. Let's go check it out real quick. I'm just saying. What you mean what I said? Bro, if y'all gonna see, that's the problem with especially y'all. These Georgia fans back home from where I'm from, they try to do this every year. They jump out early when Alabama be hurting. They jump out early, be all out, and then theirs will disappear. I ain't even know Brandon was still around. Good to see you, Brandon. I ain't even know you were still alive, man. Glad to see you up and moving, kicking and stuff, barking, yapping and stuff, smelling musty. But no, that's what they do, man. Let me look at Ty Simpson stats, and then we're gonna we got our guests popped in the back. We're gonna bring them on here in a few minutes. My boy Ty, his little thing. Yeah. So last year he threw 25 attempts, 160. Wait. No, that's not right. Oh, that was right. Oh, they saying he had 500 yards over his career. I was like, I remember throwing him that much. So yeah, this can't be right though, cause didn't Ty throw some? Let me see. I thought that boy threw some tutties last year. He threw 43 passes last year, 254 yards. Oh, 25. Dang, I thought Ty threw some tutties last year. He ran a few. He ain't threw no tutties over his career. Dang, Ty. Get that ball in the end zone. God dang, boy. That was Austin Mack hit that big bomb last year against Mercer. That wasn't Ty. See, I knew I wasn't tripping. He ain't throw no tutty against USF either. See, y'all see, this is what I had. This is my gripe with Bama fans, right? At least with Milroe, man, we knew coming into that season, his first year started, we got to see him against Arkansas. Or was it Texas A&M the year before? Arkansas, he finished the game Texas A&M. We got to see what he was able to do on a system that wasn't even tailored for his skill set. Right? And then so we turn around and we bashed the man for literally, and this is a question that I asked y'all yesterday, and I'm going to ask Kenny when he come on too. Do you think this staff has selected that QB1 based off of what the system demands or the quarterback's abilities? Or have they based their offense off of what the system's potential is or what the quarterback's abilities are? That's something to think about. We're going to talk about that here on the show. So just to kind of open the show up and break the ice a little bit, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. But without further ado, y'all, let's jump into this segment. Gonna bring on my brother Kennington Lloyd Smith III, AP or Associated Press writer, man. We're gonna get him in the show right now. Y'all ready? Let's do it. You're talking about Jalen Milroe and the Pips? The perfect weak side linebacker, right? Put him next to the mic.
It's not going to take up a lot of time, but I want to say that I'm excited about what.
Okay, forgive me, my brother. What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just still sorry for all the other content creators now that we have this mega star back in our presence.
Y'all give it up. Y'all give it up for my brother Kenny, man. What's up, brother?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. Look, trying to fight off whatever this is, man. I don't know what's trying to get me, man. It's trying to get me though.
It's like a little fall cold.
I don't know, man. It's trying, but I'm about to. I know I got that. After the show, I'm gonna probably get out and I'd probably just go jog, man. Try to sweat and get in here and wrap up. So I can't be sick, man. It's the season here. What the hell?
Yeah, I know you on your fitness journey. If your gym got a sauna,
man, listen. I'm looking for a new gym right now. Looking for a new gym. I done came back home to Montgomery, so looking for a new gym. I like family gyms for the most part. I don't like the Crunch Fitnesses and Planet Fitness. I ain't too big on those. I like the family gyms, the smaller gyms, more secluded. I could see how the crowd be, to really gauge how the crowd is. So we'll see. How you doing though, bro? How we talked last week? How you been doing since last week?
Yeah, been good. Looking forward to being back at Bryant Denny on Saturday. Just want to see. I'm just so interested in every aspect of this team. I think that you could talk for hours just about the players. You could talk just about the coaches. You could talk big picture. You could talk about just Saturday. I mean, everything that's on the line on Saturday. I know it's not a marquee opponent, but fans need to see something. Even if people say the game itself doesn't matter, you still need to see something. So I've been good since last week. Obviously, the game on Saturday was shocking. I've had a lot of time to think about it, process it, still thinking about it. So I'm excited to be on with you today. Excited for players to talk today.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling the chat yesterday. Expect the player availability to be tight, man. I expect it to be tight in there. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I think today is one of those days we get to see the skill set of our media coverage at Alabama, like the ability to get those answers that we really trying to get past that surface layer of engagement as the fan base. So I'm excited to see what comes out of these questions today. I think I got to shoot a text out before practice over with so we can make sure I get one across. But man, let's quick breakdown recap of the game, man. Just overall, what was your assessment? Without getting into the particulars of scheme and everything, just what was your overall assessment of the showing that Alabama put out on the field this past weekend?
Yeah. One word came to mind as I was watching it, and I still feel that way. And I'm not saying that this is what the team is and what they're going to be the rest of the season, but specifically on Saturday, that was a lifeless performance. Mm-hmm. It was hollow. It was a shell of themselves. It was shocking because everything that we had heard across the board was that this team was really motivated and that this team was ready to play. And it's not even just so much. I know people are, when it's something in a situation like this, Florida State went through it last year, right? Pete Thamel goes on College Game Day. He's like, Florida State has the best defensive line in the country from what I've heard. The season doesn't go well. It's like, okay, well, the media is getting all this bad intel. We don't want to listen to them. These are also things coming out of their own mouths, the players' mouths, unsolicited, right? Like, yeah. The disrespect will be addressed accordingly. And, what LT Overton said about Florida State last week and, Kane Womack a couple weeks ago saying Deontay Lawson looks like the prime version of himself and he looks better than ever. And physically he looks like this and he's flying around. And these are things that they're saying also in, publicly. So it's not just, we're trying to, hype the team up or gas them up, feeding off this bad intel. They're the ones that are telling us this themselves. So it's just, it was just shocking to see it happen like that. And I think for fans, they can take a loss, right? Like, I know that there's perception of Alabama fans out there, but Bama fans can accept a loss if the team goes out there, plays hard. You know what? The other team just won, right? Like, I'm thinking about, this was a long time ago, but I'm thinking about like them Clemson battles back in, the mid 2010s. It's like that 2016 national championship, Bama played hard. They balled out. It went down to the last play. Clemson made the play. Okay, they won, shake their hand, move on. They can't take a loss like this though, where the team is just, the effort was at a minimal, and the best players were the ones that are at the top of the list of the ones who did not perform well, right?
Right.
Deontay Lawson, Ryan Williams, Caden Proctor, Bray Hubbard, Devontae Jackson. I mean, James
Josh
Smith.
Cuevas.
We're talking about seniors, guys who came back. We're talking about NFL prospects. This isn't, Jeremiah Beeman had a critical mistake in his first game. That's why Alabama lost. Or Geno Vandermark was actually the best offensive lineman on Saturday, which was crazy.
Geno Parker and Cam, I think the interior of our offensive line performed solid through the whole game. It was never a way too high. There was never a low. They had a solid performance. They fed off each other really good. Our tackles, man. Go ahead, bro. I don't want to get back into
it. So just that's another thing that stuck out to me is just like it wasn't what you went into the game expecting to be a liability were not the reasons that Alabama lost the game, right? It wasn't Ty Simpson wasn't the main factor. The running backs weren't the main factor. It wasn't Geno Vandermark. It wasn't young defensive linemen. These are your veterans not playing up to the standard and not setting the tone and not leading the way. And I think that is probably the most concerning thing coming out of Saturday.
Yeah. And I'm right there along with you. And it's not even, and I continue to say this, I don't think it's a schematic thing at this point, man. It's one of those things where we literally saw tackles just not being made, once again. And that, if that scheme, by all means, show me. But if we're going to get to the past the players and start holding these coaches accountable, I'm at the point now, where are the guys that really want to play for the University of Alabama? Where are the guys who are willing to do, whatever it takes to complete the assignment? And that's the only thing I came away with. I didn't have a problem with play calling. Yeah, we got away from the run, but it was situational. I think we had a real intention. I think Ryan Grubb had a real intention to really get those 25 to 30 carries like he usually does in his play calling. But because of a lack of execution by the players, in some of the situations in the pace of play calling that he was forced into, you see we had to get away from it. And there were opportunities still with that many dropbacks, all of the passes that we saw incomplete. I think Ty Simpson did a good job managing the game. I really... The lack of explosiveness wasn't due to him in total part. It was a combination of both. He and the receivers just not seeing the field the same. And you gotta expect guys like Ty Simpson. You gotta expect guys like Isaiah Horton, guys like Jeremy Bernard, people that are going to be counted on to be the impact players and the role players for this offense as far as being the first guys out. You expect them to hold this whole offensive side of the ball accountable. You expect to really step up this weekend and really look at how we're putting the work in now, because clearly the way we're doing it and putting it in is not going to translate into Saturday. So how do we fix that quickly? And I think there's some minor things, and it's a lot of mental stuff, some minor mental things that's where the game is different for this Alabama team compared to some of the teams that we're used to. So we'll dive into these topics, man, and get into it. But check out the chat, man. We got a lot of people in the chat this morning. Welcome in, y'all. We got 64 on YouTube. Don't forget to run the likes up over here. TikTok, I see y'all tapping the screen. Continue to tap. Instagram, y'all tap in. Tell me where you're watching from. And then we got Twitter. We got Kick. Everywhere. Twitch. We up. Thank y'all for tapping in. Give y'all a round of applause, man. My brother coming from the AP, tapping in, breaking down this Alabama squad. So we gave our overall assessment, man. Now moving forward is ULM week. You said something that I think is key is that Alabama fans want to see something. They don't too much care about the win itself. They just want to see something other than what we saw. Now this ULM team, a lot of people, they'll look at the name once again and be like, yeah, this isn't a formidable opponent. But if you don't play anybody, if you don't show up to play anybody right now in college football, you're liable to get beat, It's a fact. It's been a fact for years. I was just watching the playback when Charleston Southern gave Coach Saban and their staff a whole 3 quarters worth of everything they could handle, and the score was 10-10 at the midpoint of the third quarter. So we can't continue to make these crazy comparisons as if college football isn't changing. The NIL, all of this stuff is kind of leveling the playing field. So I expect Alabama to show up and not play the opponent, but play the game. Play the game, not the opponent. Play the game. And when I say that, we're not looking at the logo. We're not looking at the player or the name on the roster. There's somebody on the other side of the field that's trying to keep me from doing what I need to do to create a
create patterns of success that going to help us win. So I got to find a way to beat him. I got to find a way to keep him from stopping me from doing my job. And that's all that matters going into this game. What's your thoughts going into ULM? And then we'll get into some personnel type questions and break this team down.
Yeah. So as far as, I agree with everything you said. I think, you're talking about ULM, the opponent, and not to overlook them. I think, and I had said this a couple times in y'all season, also a couple of appearances that I made elsewhere, but Alabama at this point does not deserve the benefit of the doubt that they're just going to go and blow a team out, because they've lost that to me after what happened in the Michigan game. It was reinforced by what happened in the Florida State game. And these are not, on paper, good teams that Alabama is losing to in this 5-5 stretch. These are unranked teams. These are not teams that were favored. These were not close lines. I saw the stat, the over 14.5 points. Like, Alabama should be blowing these teams out, beating them at least. And the fact that they're losing to those teams, I can't just automatically go into, this game is like, oh yeah, Alabama's going to win 55-0. I mean, what if it's a night game, nationally televised game? What if they come out tight and it's a couple of 3 and outs to start, or a couple of, 6 play and outs to start? So is that anxiety going to creep back in? Is it going to be like, oh, here we go again? Are the fans going to get antsy? So I want to see sharp execution start to finish. And I just want to see them play with some intensity. Like you said, it's really not about the team that they're playing. You want to see Alabama play to a standard. That's what's made Alabama great all of these years. It's that regardless of if you're playing Georgia or Tennessee or Louisiana Monroe or this FCS team, Alabama looked the same. Under it was a consistent product. You knew you were going to get week in and week out. They have gone away from that. So I want to see them get back to that. It really doesn't matter what the score is. If they win 35-0, but they chewed a lot of clock running the ground and the defense played lights out, it doesn't matter to me what the score is. I just want to see some intensity. I want to see sharp execution. I want to see them play with confidence. It does not feel like this is a team playing with a lot of confidence, especially on the defensive side. So I just want to see them fly around. I want to see them play with confidence. I want them to look like they're having fun again. It's really interesting that DeBoer in his last 2 public appearances after Florida State and then yesterday is talking about, I just want them to go play. It's like, I just want them to cut it loose. I want them to have fun. I don't want them to add any added pressure on themselves. I just want them to let it go. A lot of it was centered around Ty, but it was like kind of about the whole team. And it's making me wonder, and I thought about this, before I got on, it's like, does Alabama have like legitimate performance anxiety?
Right now? I said this, and I don't know if anybody was able to go back and watch my live watch party. Kenny, pure comedy. I am never watching the game with my cousins. If my cousins tapped in right now, I am never watching the game live with y'all again. They made me feel so bad, bro. Just to get off topic, just for a quick second. I was live at the beginning of the game, the first drive, the second drive, and then afterwards, I was like, you know what? I ain't going to be live. I ain't used to doing this. It didn't feel right. As soon as I cut the live off, downhill from there, the game. And so I meant to do this Saturday night. But I need to apologize to the Bama fan base. I'm sorry for not holding on to the juju that I set in motion at the beginning of the game. We lost because of me. I take accountability. I'm not going to run from it. I've been hiding from it for a few days, but I've come to you and I'm confessing my sins, y'all. So y'all forgive me. So I'm gonna make sure I'm in the right spot the rest of the season and got the right stuff going. But getting back to the conversation, man, that's what the biggest thing for me was coming out of this game. Like, where is the mindset and mentality of the staff when it comes to where these guys' pressure is? Like, are they talking about it now? Are they talking about, the realness of where the pressure is? Because there is pressure. You'll be naive to think that there isn't. Like, you're just going to show up and play football. No, there's pressure. If you care about the game, if you care about representing the University of Alabama, there's pressure. And that could create, like you said, performance anxiety. Now, your old school players, they I don't care what they say. They didn't have the type of media attention and the type of overwatch from media over their day-to-day lives like these kids have nowadays. You go from being in high school, having some type of boundaries and barriers where you was kind of protected. You couldn't talk to certain people legally, right? Now you get in college and you're a professional athlete now with NIL and some of the things that have to happen, all of the different charity events you show up and support. And that's how I find and well, but it's on top of school, on top of my fault. I always put a Y because it's skinny Kenny. That's what it is. But it's all of these things that compile together and bring you to a point where you're like, man, and I got football. Oh, and it's in 100. It's in front. So I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying this is realistic stuff. Some of y'all struggle to handle your day-to-day lives, and you turn on the TV Saturday and expect these boys to be like these immaculate athletes. Yeah, they getting paid to do it, but you get paid to do your job. Don't nobody say nothing when you don't twist that knob tight enough, and they got to send your butt back out there to make sure the cable going right. Don't nobody, you know what I'm saying? We don't beat you up on social media. You might get a post a bad review, but that's about it. Some of y'all go in, but I really see this team developing, man. From this, I had to be convinced of this. That I had to look at the game again, Kenny, and I'm gonna throw it back to you. You look at some of the things that was happening on the sideline. I'm glad there wasn't coaches going up and down that sideline, because now I got an opportunity in the film room. I got an opportunity when we get back to practice to say, where are my leaders at? I get to put it on the players for real now. You know, where y'all want to keep this player-led culture going. Y'all want us to believe in that. Y'all believe in what we're teaching. Where y'all at? You know, we didn't see any of y'all on this game. And like you said, if they can just show some energy transfers to effort, and effort transfers to execution. I used to teach my players that all the time. And it's true, man. You show up with some energy, you ready to give a little bit of effort. That means you're teaching, you're teachable, you're able to be coached up. And then that transferred into execution, man, because you're dialed in on what the mission is. So I don't know where you start with that. I don't think it's a coach thing or a player thing in particular. I think it's a collective of both, man. And we're going to see if it transpires starting today in practice, man.
Yeah, I think, even that's something else that it will be interesting if the players can, if the players will speak this at availability. But, we're talking about what people want to see is more than effort. Is this a game where there are some young guys that are going to get more snaps than maybe we would have anticipated as a result of the effort that we saw last Saturday? Because, people are talking about if you want to get through to these kids, take their money or boot their cars or, whatever. It's like, that's not realistic. But what is realistic is Deontay Lawson snaps getting cut in half, or Bray Hubbard snaps getting cut in half, or whoever is not showing the energy, whoever didn't show the energy on Saturday and then they don't show it again today, tomorrow, taking their reps away, that maybe that will get their attention. Give it to some young guys who just want to go out there and play. They make a mistake, you can live with it. They're probably playing hard just because, they're freshmen, they're young, they're excited. So that's something else that I'm going to be looking forward to, trying to find out this week, or if somebody will speak on it, is, are the coaches switching some things up to send a message? Are we going to see some different guys play? Are we going to see some guys play less? Or maybe it's just like they go through this week of practice and these guys aren't getting the reps, and that is what it takes to get into their minds. And then Saturday, those same, veteran guys go out, play their same reps, and they look like awesome. So I want to know what the coaches are going to be doing to kind of push those buttons in and hold players accountable. Obviously, the players have to do it themselves. And you hear like the player-led team thing is usually only brought up when like good things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
But, it can't just be, the best teams are player-led when you're winning, but then when you're losing, it's okay.
It's the coaching.
It's the coaching, right? No, the players need to be the ones that are holding them accountable, right? So, we've heard, the people say, the reports, and people that were on the sidelines, Damian Harris, others saying like, the sideline was dead. There was no live. Nobody was really like getting in guys' faces or whatever. Is that going to change in practice this week? Maybe you put some young guys in that might empower them to give their voice. It's hard when you're a young player to voice yourself if you're not playing and performing and, the ones on the field. You can be a leader within like your freshman class.
Yeah.
But it's hard for, just give an example, like a Dijon Lee to be speaking up in the DB room when you have like Damani Jackson and Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard and Xavier, guys who have actually like played, have accolades, who have been there for multiple years. So, maybe more reps and more responsibility will empower those guys to be able to voice their opinions and say something. So, it'll be interesting to see how the coaches, handle this week. But I think that would probably be the most realistic thing if we're talking about accountability is taking playing time away. I think that's you want to talk about messing with money, like
That's how you do it.
that's how you mess with money. It's not, oh, we need to rewrite their contracts. No, what you need to do is sit them down on the bench because
Yeah.
an NFL team is going to call you and say, why is he was a 2-year starter for you, all SEC pre. Why is he on the bench? Oh, well, he doesn't practice hard. He doesn't play hard. He's not a leader. He's not.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, you don't got to worry about us. Looking at it like that. We don't need. That's how you affect somebody's money. That's how you hold somebody truly accountable. So I'm interested to see if it gets that far.
And I think that's where it will start, and a lot of people are looking in the wrong spots. Let's talk about some of the spots, and I like that Mary J has this up in the as the caption. Who are the leaders? Well, we look at Deontay Lawson, man. That inside linebacker room is full of young talent. There's a young man by the name of Caden Jones. There's a young man by the name of QB Reese. There's a Abdul Sanders Jr. These are guys that in all the scrimmages and everything that you see, these guys are going full speed, and they're the ones creating contact. A lot of your reports from the scrimmages, you didn't hear about Ja Latham or anybody going crazy in the scrimmages. The names that we heard about, going crazy in the scrimmage. And let's be fair with this. You got some guys that are still recruits from prospects from Coach Saban era. I feel like they're the ones still struggling with this transition, man, and overthinking things. Like, I feel like when you've been at that level of learning on the defensive side, dumbing down your thought process to fly around, it becomes a task in itself. So you see key spots. Bray Hubbard, playing hesitant. Deontay Lawson playing hesitant. Jefferson came over his first year at Alabama was under Saban and Steele. So they're playing a lot of hesitancy. But Nikhil Green, he makes the wrong read on attacking a gap, but he did it full speed and still was almost able to get back into play enough to be recorded as a missed tackle. So I see a different mentality in the groups of personnel that's being held. And so when I look at leaders, why are we still seeing the break in the transition? Why are we still seeing the gap in the transition? And I think it's just being programmed, man. To a certain extent, that's great. When everybody's programmed the same way, but when you got a bunch of guys, let's say 65, 70% of your team, they're transitioning in, buying into a new concept or a new way of thinking and operating. And then you got the 30% that's holding weight as if they're the 70 or the 60%. That's when you start to see the clash. And I saw that a lot on the field this past weekend, but when it comes down to effort, man, your leaders are the ones that's going to show up with their actions. And we need a lot more actions going into this game. I look at this game and I look at the offensive side of things. We talked about the tackles struggling. This game, I truly believe I think we'll see the run game, but I truly believe that they want to see the extent of the pass game against somebody other than Alabama defense. And you're going to have to do it over the next 2 weeks because that bye week before Georgia game, I really think you got to dial in on how you're going to scheme up the run game. We got to get disruptive with their front. Got to keep them, close to the line of scrimmage. That's how you're going to beat them over top. They got a lot of team speed on the defensive side, maybe young, maybe inexperienced, but a lot of team speed on Georgia's side. I think you utilize this game with ULM and the type of team speed, lateral quickness that they possess. You use that to your advantage and start to kind of build your game plan going into that first conference game. And the matchup to me this week is going to be the wide receivers versus the secondary, or our wide receiver core, tight ends included, running backs included, the receiving core versus ULM's pass defense. So what is the matchup that you'll be looking for, and who's a player in that matchup that you'll be keying on?
Yeah, you mentioned the receivers. I think that's where it lands for me. And where I come to that point is, remember last week we were talking and we said if they go down there and the run game isn't going, and then it becomes Ty Simpson having to throw it 35, 40 times, what's it going to look like? And that's exactly what happened. Not like,
bro,
that's exactly
did we call it, or it was crazy that we even spoke on that. And I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to lead you into that because people think I was picking. And I've never said Ty wasn't good, man. I just knew. And I'm not saying he can't develop it, bro, but I just never saw him being able to be like carry a team for real. I felt like he was a great quarterback when it came to managing the game. He's not going to do nothing to put you in bad spots. But when it came time to make plays, I just never saw that in his eyes, man. It's a look that you possess. It's a certain calmness you have about you, and he didn't have it at all Saturday.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I'm coming back to the receivers, right? The point of that was if it comes down to that, and Ty Simpson's not show he didn't show the ability that he can elevate the offense off of his own. You need a really strong supporting cast, and there's nothing wrong with that because again, as we spoke about last week, look at the last 5 national champions. These are not world Peter awesome quarterbacks. Will Howard, JJ McCarthy, Stetson Bennett,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, right? What's the common thread between all of those teams? They had awesome rosters around them, and all those guys had to do was obviously there were some plays that needed to be made in critical moments, but for the most part, those guys just needed to operate the offense and keep everything moving. Well, that wasn't the case on Saturday because Alabama's supporting cast was not what it needed to be. Can't really put a lot on the running backs, but the receiving core outside of Jeremy Bernard wasn't up to the hype. Tight ends weren't game changers, weren't special in the play. They were just kind of like a net neutral. The offensive line was a negative for sure. So you need all of these players around Ty Simpson to play well and elevate their game so he can look like what we think he can look like. And that's what it comes back down to receivers for me because this was a group that received maybe more hype than any other on the position group on the team going into the season. Defensive back was up there. Offensive line, maybe from outside media, not so much inside, but receivers was the group that people were really, really, really excited about. Jeremy Bernard played great. Ryan Williams didn't play great, but I don't think that he is of any concern. Yeah, he had a bad game, but at the end of the day, this is Ryan Williams, right? You can hold him accountable, but he's gonna be fine. After that, though, we didn't see. It was a lot like last year. We didn't see like that. That's somebody emerge past the top 2. So I want to see that going into Saturday. Wynn and Isaiah Horton is going to be limited this week. DeBoer said he's going to be a full go on Saturday. We'll see, but he's going to be limited this week. Ryan Williams is obviously in concussion protocol. He's going to be limited this week. So who in the receiving room? This is your opportunity, right? This is your opportunity. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to, I wish I was in this role, that role. Now here's your opportunity to be in that role and show us something because you can earn playing time on Saturday.
Yeah.
Go out there and you play well, you will earn a spot in the rotation. I think the rotation is still really open. So I'm looking at Cole Adams and I'm looking at Rico Scott. And I'm looking at Derek Meadows and Latier Brooks and Jalen Hell. Everybody who's in the receiving room, this is an opportunity for them to show themselves. So I'm really looking at the receiving room because if those guys are not getting separation on Saturday, they're not making explosive plays, the offense might get stagnant again.
Yeah.
ULM is an overmatched team personnel-wise, right? Like they're not as good as Florida State. They're obviously not as good as Alabama. But if Alabama is not separating, making the plays, it could get a little tight in that first half. So really looking at the receiving group, and I want to know what they do with the tight ends because I think another thing in this game is you need the offensive line to gain a little confidence. Mainly just the tackles, but as a unit, they need confidence. So like you said, I expect them to run the ball, but I said it's a tight end game because is this going to be a game where you see a lot of Bodie Dalton, Caleb Edwards because they're going to be chipping off of the line, because they're going to be having to give Proctor some extra support. They're going to have to give Wilkenformy some support. Maybe they have to line up in 12 personnel more times to get the run game going. So I want to know if there's going to be an extended tight end rotation with some of those bigger bodies to try to help the offensive line get some traction so the group can gain confidence. So those are going to be like a couple things I'm looking for.
100%, man, and kind of stay on that topic because that's where I think the key matchups are. Let's flip it to the other side, the secondary. I don't think they had bad game in coverage. The Dijon Lee broken play. I think that was more of a safety issue more than Dijon, and also alignment. Anytime we have a dime set like that, there's no way you're allowing your boundaries to free release. That was definitely a mental lapse because he came back and corrected. Dijon Lee played more snaps that game, came back self-correct. You saw him be a lot more effective with the rest of his snaps, but true freshman mistake. I'd rather see that than, missing tackles and then jogging or taking my time to get up to get back into play. These are guys that you're counting on. I love what Keon Sabb did. I like that he didn't get over emotional, trying to lead this team. And we know that's something that he's been working on. Wanted to be more of a vocal leader. Turning to the secondary, I think this week they're going to have a chance. They're going to have a lot of opportunities to make plays on the ball in the air. ULM's going to air the ball out. They're going to want to put the ball in the air, 30, 40 times this game. Now that all is going to be I guess you could say a result of how well they are in run support. The secondary wasn't very good in run support and edge containment this weekend. And a lot of people look at the defensive ends and the edge linebackers to kind of contain the edge. But when you have a team that's, in that option read style of offense, your secondary, your overhangs, guys, the strong safeties that walk in and kind of hang out in that no man's land, are they in the box or are they out the box? They're the ones dictating the read. You have to be a lot more decisive in those positions. And Deshaun Jones, he wasn't very effective in that position. When Bray Hubbard walked down into that spot, we didn't see the effectiveness there. Red Morgan, and somebody in the chat said it. Where's Cam Calhoun? I think if it's that important for that spot to be that key in run support, I think you can kind of shuffle some guys around, just like we said on the offensive side. Shuffle some guys around and put skill sets in spots where they're going to be able to be utilized. That rover, that husky position rotation, being able to play that extensive, that stretch safety or that stretch strong safety position, you got to be solid in run support. So looking at that personnel change, it's going to be curious for me to see what personnel groupings in the secondary are going to fit the field against certain personnel, certain formations on the offensive side. The 4 wide said, do we see Dijon Lee, on the boundary again, or are we going to see more of a, I guess you could say, anatomical matchup, or you get what I'm saying, like the big receiver on the big DB on big receiver, because that wasn't the case in the Florida State game. I thought, like me and you said, man, Dijon Lee, his opportunities, I think, for him to excel would be anything to line up over Deuce Robinson, their big receiver. Body frame wise, you got Demani Jackson on score white. I like his chances better than the true freshman Dijon Lee at this point. Cam Calhoun, he's the true lock corner. So I want to see a little bit more awareness from the coaching staff, personnel wise, but I am going to be keying in on the secondary rotation.
Yeah.
Inside linebacker room, what you think about that? What would you like to see from there? Because that's another game where that room right there, their problems kind of stand out more than anything on the defense.
Yeah. Kane Womack said something that I thought was interesting yesterday. He was like, we're going to let our players figure this out, or we're going to let our players have an opportunity to fix this. So in that room specifically, I don't think there's going to be immediate changes. I think you give them, out of respect. Obviously, this is Deontay Lawson is the team captain. Justin Jefferson is the older guy. Nikyle Green, senior older guy. He has all Big 12 accolades. These are accomplished players, old players. So out of respect, I think that they're going to give him an opportunity. That opportunity can't really go past the first couple series of the game. If we're just talking about from an execution, eye discipline, intensity, physicality standpoint, before you have to try to put some younger guys into the game and see what they can do. So that's
right.
Where I'm at with the inside linebacker room. And again, especially with Deontay Lawson, I can't put a lot on him because it is clear that he's not 100%. It's clear that he's not what he was when he was healthy last year, even 2 years ago. And I keep coming back to this Kane Womack quote. This is from August 20th. And it just baffles me that this is what he said. So this is the question was, how close to form is Deontay Lawson? He said his body is just in a position to where he's moving really fast. He looks good. He's playing with great anticipation. His level of leadership is taking another level. I mean, he is playing the best football right now, which is impressive to me 8-9 months after a leg injury. So I'm really impressed with him and I'm really proud of him. That is not what we saw on Saturday. And he, and it's just like those unsolicited comments that build these expectations where it's like he could have just said, Deontay's working hard. He's a great leader for us. I'm looking forward to getting him back on the field. You went out of your way to say this guy is he's playing the best football of his life. That's, you're putting a lot on him, especially off of an injury. So, him aside, go ahead.
You're leaning into a point that I made about the quarterback selection. Them announcing Ty Simpson as QB1 as early as they did, I think a lot of this was done to kind of help these older veteran players and the mental to be like, okay, I don't have to worry about it. I truly believe that Kyle Green, Abdul Sanders, Justin Jefferson, QB Reese. I truly believe that's the true inside linebacker rotation that we saw in spring and early in fall camp that I felt like we would get the best production from, regardless of the age of the players. But I feel like with guys like Lawson, with guys like Tim Keenan, Ty Simpson, your veteran guys that came over, they're still fighting through that whole transition phase, post Saban, all of this stuff. I feel like the coaches sat there and they said, okay, if we let Ty know that he's the guy, maybe he could stop worrying about this quarterback competition and lock in and give us exactly what we need for this offense to be where it is. I feel like it was the same for Deontay Lawson. And when it came time for them to put it out on the field, it just didn't happen. But that was just like a little insert I had to get back to, because people thought I was tripping when I said this about the quarterback competition, and I felt strongly about it. I felt like it was a move more so for the mental aspect, not just for the team, but for that player in particular. And I feel like it not necessarily backfired, but it definitely hit a wall in week 1.
Yeah. And, I understand for sure that coaches want to instill confidence publicly, but I think that there's ways to go about it. You have to be mindful in the seat that you're in when you are coaching at the University of Alabama and you are in a high power position, because everything that you say is going to be nitpicked and everything that you say is going to be dissected. So I understand you want to have confidence, but even when Ty Simpson was named the starter, it wasn't like they came out and they were like, Ty was just, he's ready to throw for 4,000. He's ready to this, that. All they said was, Ty executed he operated the offense the best. He
has command of the commander.
These are just like simple things that you can read the tea and say, okay, he's ahead of these young guys. He's ready to start. But it's not like, Ty Simpson is on the same level as, all the quarterbacks that Bama's had in the past, and he is doing all these things like Kane said about Deontay Lawson, where he's putting this on him of he's playing the best that he ever has. We saw Deontay Lawson in 2023, and then early parts of 2024, that wasn't the same player. So I understand that for sure. So that's what I'm looking at in the inside linebacker room, is I just want to see them play with some confidence. And if not, then it's time to get some young guys an opportunity, because at the end of the day, like that room in particular is in a really interesting spot, because you have 3 really old guys who have played a lot, and then you have guys who have never played before, and there's no in between. You have to give those guys some reps at some point, because the college football tells you, with the amount of games that you play, the attrition that you play, you're gonna need at least one of them at some point this year to probably log some snaps. So if those old guys aren't giving it to you in the first quarter, first couple series, I want to see some young guys get a chance to go out there and play.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking for Caden Jones to get his opportunity. Both he and I think losing Justin O, personnel like Justin Okunraku into the portal, you have guys like that on the roster.
It does not help that he looked really good for South Carolina.
Oh, and literally exactly what he was doing here at Alabama, just being the person that gets to the ball. Mm-hmm. And you see the same skill set from Caden Jones. And while he was here, Caden Jones healthy, Justin O was behind Caden Jones. But once Caden Jones was hurt, you saw Justin O go out there and execute. So I think you gotta try those skill sets. If you were willing to let one of these guys go because you see similar skill sets and type of production or development, you gotta input this skill set, not necessarily the person, the skill set. You got to find a way to make it work in the scheme. And so those are the primary matchups I'm looking for this weekend. Now, I don't care to get into the score prediction this week. I'm kind of like you, man. This team, and I love how the social media stuff is fun, because they will literally look at a prediction, right? And they will try to base your knowledge of the game based off of your prediction of a game that hasn't been played yet, right?
Right.
And so last week, if we count up the amount of possessions Alabama had, the points we missed out on, my score prediction probably would have been off with Florida State. We get them off the field. That James Smith play, we get them off the field. That's a change in the game, man. I don't care what nobody says. That's a change in the game. That's an opportunity. That's the offense. Ty Simpson, they build their confidence. We might see a different game. I look at this game going into the ULM home game. If this team shows up, man, this is a 6-possession type game. And I mean 6 possessions as if, like, showing up and executing to the max. I don't mind Ryan Grubb's play calling. I do want to see a more aggressive nature of a play calling from Kane Womack, especially with dialing up the pressures and allowing your secondary to be athletes. And especially in a game like this, let those guys be athletes. Let those corners cover. Put them on islands and make them earn their spot. Make them earn what they've been working for all spring, all fall. You got all these athletic, lengthy guys. Let's put those skill sets and those athletic features to use. Let your safeties rove. Let them play that center field type of concept, that one high look that I think Keon Sabb is just one of the best at that robber type look, man. At the safety position. Trust him up top. His run gap discipline, his run support was discipline. I'm looking at this game, like I said, a 6-possession game. And when I say 6 possessions, I'm thinking like a 38 to 3, 38 to 9 type game, because I think the defense really will have an opportunity to step up, especially with ULM wanting to put the ball in the air. This is the game where we see the quality of depth in our secondary and the defensive front. This is their opportunity to try to get pressure. You know, you got to win one-on-ones up front. You know, true forefront is going to have an opportunity to be in effect this game. You won't see a lot of staggered four-man fronts. You're going to see a lot of your base four odd front. So I think this is going to be a game schematically that helps us grow. I won't get too excited about the outcome, but I think you're going to get a good spot to grow from. What's good, everybody in the chat? And before we get Kenny's little prediction, Kenny's prediction on the game this weekend, let me get everybody in the chat on YouTube. Continue to hit that thumbs up button, man. We got 76 in the chat, 43 likes. Let's get up to that 50 like mark, man. We not far away. And again, Hollywood the Barber, thank you for becoming a member of the AAA family, man. Y'all give it up for my guy for becoming a member over here on the YouTube channel, man. Appreciate you, Hollywood. Roll Top, for your support and becoming a part of the AAA community, man. We're gonna keep growing over here. Y'all really doing it, man. I thank y'all for supporting. And don't forget, we got other opportunities to donate and all of that stuff, man. Y'all just continue to like and share, and we greatly appreciate it. But Kenny, give me your overall thoughts about this game this Saturday. Your final prediction for this game this weekend.
Yeah, I think you said it right. Like, you know, they go out there and play to their ability. This is like a, you know, if we're putting a real score on, this is like a 42-0, 45-7. I don't even know what the Mercer score was last year, something like that. Mm-hmm. Level of, you know, of gap between scores. But again, it's really just about wanting them to play with some effort and some intensity. You are right. I don't think there's anything in this game that's going to make fans feel better. It's more like, can Alabama get back to like even by the Georgia game? Can they get back to a point where like going into that game, fans feel like, you know what, they didn't play two great teams these last couple of weeks, but the effort that they play with, it gives me some confidence that the team is actually going to go into Athens with their head on straight. So that's where it's at with this team. So like you said, really interested in the pass rush. I think the Wolf position is one of the most unsettled on the team and one that is in clear focus when we're talking about the pass rush, because they have all of these bodies and they have all these names and these returning guys, Quay Russaw, Jamarian Latham. Yanze Pierre actually ended up playing the best out of those three. It'd be interesting to see what that rotation looks like if Justin Hill is going to get some more opportunities, Noah Carter. So I'll be interested to see what happens on that front on Saturday. Who's rotating there? Who ends up getting some pressure? So I'm definitely looking at the defensive front to show up and respond. So that's what it is for me. It's about the response. How is this team going to respond? How are they going to come out? And again, who are going to be kind of like those leaders to right the ship this week? So it's it's kind of a gut check time. And I thought, listening back to what DeBoer said and Womack said, DeBoer's not like a fiery guy, but I feel like he spoke with like more emotion than he has since he's been the Bama coach. And like, even still, it wasn't a whole lot, but like I was there and like just listening to like the inflection in his voice when he's talking about certain things, whether it's like cutting it loose and playing with energy or the penalties or eliminating the mental mistakes, all of these things that are mental, kind of seeing him get in his own way about that. I'm just fascinated with how this team is going to respond and how they can translate that onto the field, because at this point, Alabama's team, what they're known for, what fans have come to know them as, is a team that will say one thing and do another.
Yeah.
So can they get those things aligned starting on Saturday is kind of the crux of the matter.
Right. And a lot of fans hate the fact that he hasn't switched up. I love that. I think that's the first sign of being your authentic self and trusting your process, just like Coach Saban did. Because if you're going to change your persona and your emotions based off of what the fans say, people that's going to have their opinion regardless of winning or losing, they're going to talk. If you win, they're going to talk about how you won. They're going to complain about how you won. When you lose, they're going to acknowledge every negative. You got to focus on the main thing. And the main thing is developing these players and getting them to buy into what you're saying and not pay attention to what the fans like Bamanomics and some of these other fans in the chat saying. But you know what I'm saying? So you got to get to that side of things. I'm petty. Don't do that.
And the thing about it, we said it last week, it's like, if these things are so true that the players aren't buying in and they don't believe and they don't respect them, why did they stay?
Yeah. We had
just answer that one question. Why did they stay?
A whole portal window. Nobody left.
Right.
Nobody left.
Right. It's not for money because, people say, oh, Alabama's not paying the most in NIL anyway. So it's not for the money. It's not because they just want to live in Tuscaloosa and their life is sweet or whatever. Like, these players want to win.
Yeah.
Right. They want to win. They want to play at the highest level. They want to go to the NFL. They could have done that. Do you not think if Damani Jackson entered the transfer portal that he couldn't have the pick of what school he wanted to go to? Xavier Brown, Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Kate, all these guys. These guys could go play wherever they want in the country if they want.
Just based off their name.
Right. And a lot of these guys could have gone to the NFL. LT Overton and Damani Jackson and
Deontay Lawson was getting all these high grades.
Keenan. All these guys could have gone to the NFL or gone elsewhere to another school and made more money probably than what they're making in Alabama. So if you really feel like it's because the players don't believe in DeBoer or they don't respect it, why are they still on the team? So that's always one thing that I would, push back on. Does that mean that DeBoer is perfect? No, obviously, right? Does he have to show something? Yeah, of course. But to say like, oh, the players have given up on him or it's, they're not buying into what he's saying. That's just, you would have to explain to me why they stayed then. And maybe you know something that I don't. I'd be open to hearing it, but that's where I'm at on that particular point.
Yeah, and people, listen, let's hold everyone accountable, even from a staff standpoint. I continue to say this. If you're going to be in this position, your job is to play the best player. And that sometimes that Ryan Williams proved this staff right last year. Xavier Brown, Jalen Mbakwe, who else had to play big moments last year as a true freshman? Jesus, how many was there?
Mbakwe played a lot.
Xavier Brown started every game. Red Morgan came in and played some impactful minutes early in the season and showcased some quality things there. So you're going to have to play the talent at this point. And I think, like you said from the jump, man, and we'll kind of transition out of this. You have to play the guys and what's valuable. Find out what's valuable to these players. What do they hold in value when it comes to their football careers? And I guarantee you, if they're trying to play at the NFL level, they're a fifth-year senior, they're a fourth-year guy. This is kind of like their make it or break it year. You mess with that playing time, like you said, you mess with them GM calls. Why your senior not playing? Is there an injury there? You mess with that, they'll wake up. Or if they don't, it'll be there. It'll be there, but And so we gotta trust the staff to buy into that process. They have been, and I say this about Kalen DeBoer, he has been to multiple stops. And why would he change it up? Because he's at Alabama. Why would he change it up? Like if my style of winning and what I've been doing to create winning culture has been working everywhere else with assets that aren't deemed as just as skilled or as skilled as what I have now, why is this not transition the right way? There's new challenges for every transition. And I think this is the one where truly buying in, not just saying it, but actually truly buying in, meaning your effort, your energy, your effort, and your execution. Those 3 E's are going to be so important. That's what I'm going to be looking at probably this whole weekend during this ULM game. I don't care if it's the fourth quarter, we up by, it could be 48-0. energy, effort, you know, and the execution. If you're the fourth string guy, if you're the preferred walk on, and you're out there, and your gap, you sent on the A gap, you better go blow it up. Something better get blown up in that gap, you know, every time. And that's how we got to be. That's the mentality you got to carry on to have success. And once we see that, I think this team will really showcase what its capabilities of. And all the trash talk, all the extra stuff, is warranted. This is a team that was expected. I watched Josh Pate. You know, I respect Josh Pate like a mug. I watched him have to go on Crane and Company, right? And they did, I think it was Crane and Company. They did their collab, and they were talking about like nobody who's been watching Alabama has been able to be on their campus throughout the fall, the spring, that's been able to make visits. That's nobody expected that showing in Tallahassee.
Right.
Nobody. You got your analysts. Everybody was Alabama in the second half. This, that, and the third is going to pull away. That and the third. Even at that point in the game where we were down going into halftime, people thought it would turn around for Bama. So this is not over with, first of all, and this roster is definitely full of talent enough to turn this thing around.
A year ago, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois at this time on the calendar a year ago.
And they ended up playing in the national championship.
Right. Ryan Day was fired late November. He was a dead man walking. All they had to do was welcome in Tennessee, let Tennessee beat them, and Ryan Day was not going to be the coach at Ohio State anymore. And then they won the national championship. These things are right. Clemson, right? These things are fluid. These things are fluid. And if the team does turn it around, which I think is possible, then we're gonna look back on this moment and it's gonna be like, I can't believe that one thing happened, but at least they turn it around. I mean, there's obviously a potential that the thing doesn't turn around. Right? Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, they're definitely going to do it. But the idea that Alabama is done, like this is just, that is over. Nah, it's far from over. Far from over.
100%, man. So, again, man, this is one of those things. I'm excited to kind of see how it turns out as a person on this side of things, as a quote unquote analyst of the game, as an insider of however we're talking about it. I like to look at it from this standpoint. I'm a person that thrives off of adversity in my personal life. So for my team to have to experience early adversity, this honestly saves a lot of the emotion that I put into approaching the games. Week 1, I'm not tricked. You know, we were tricked. Week 1 through 4 last week into the second half of the Georgia game. We was tricked. We were fed the Kool-Aid. Milroe in that offense came out. The vertical passing threat was the go-to. He was saving the offense with his legs. Like, defense was picking it up, was learning, right? And then against Vanderbilt, I mean, second half of Georgia game, we like, whoa, what the? And then in Vanderbilt, we like, whoa, wait. And now we get smacked in the face with all these different things that we didn't see. Well, week 1, we were told we were given a product. We were given the instructions on how to operate it. We followed the directions and we put it out there to operate. And maybe it was a light bulb out somewhere. You know, maybe it wasn't screwed in all the way. Maybe we didn't plug something in and securely secure it in the socket or whatever. So let's go reevaluate these directions. Fans, coaches, players, staff alike. Reevaluate these directions and do it the proper way and take our time doing it. Up all the excitement, forget all the shiny bells and whistles. Just get back to the basics and watch this team operate. Kenny, let the people know where they can find you at, man, and how they can support your content and how you cover the team, man.
Yeah, on Twitter /X at SkinnyKenny _ SKINNYKENNY _ exactly how it sounds. SkinnyKenny _ writing for the AP. Putting something out today, going to be focusing just on kind of the accountability factor, what the players have to say after what the coaches said yesterday, and just kind of evaluating where Alabama goes from here. So, look forward to that on my feed later today, but that's where you can find me.
100%, man. Y'all make sure y'all go support my brother. If y'all didn't see his post from yesterday, this is kind of like what I was retweeting yesterday. With media availability, that was some quality stuff that we were able to witness and kind of interact with yesterday. So y'all make sure y'all go check him out on Twitter. Again, that's SkinnyKenny _ again, that's SkinnyKenny with capital S, capital K _ just like it sounds. Hey, bro, I appreciate you for tapping in, man. As always, bro, you know, this might have to be like a weekly thing, bro, because people really enjoyed the conversation last week. Again, the numbers are back up there again on all platforms. I got to get me another screen, Kenny, because it's really growing, man. And I appreciate you for being a part of this and supporting your brother and pushing me, man. I told you I look up to him. I think I'm older than him by a few years, but I look up to him when it comes to how he move in this industry, man. And I see some great things continue to come your way. And I'm glad to be along for the ride, bro.
Yeah, man, I believe it. I receive it. Appreciate it, brother. And, keep doing your thing here. See it's growing. It's like crazy thinking about what it looks like, a year ago and kind of just how it's continued to kind of like grow and evolve. So,
yeah,
a good thing going.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. We'll catch up, brother.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
All right, y'all. Give it up for my brother Kenny, bro. Y'all take it there. Give it up for him, man. Hey, appreciate him for tapping in, man. Y'all know it's always a good time when bro come in. Always great conversation. Good to see two young African-American brothers. I ain't gonna just young African-American brothers not doing it the normal way, man. No, he went through a certain process. I went through my process to get to this point, to link up the way we did last year and to continue to build this relationship in the industry where it ain't nice in this industry. You got to have some tough skin. You got to have some tough skin to really thrive in this industry. People don't like your opinions. People don't like you. People talk about the way you look. They talk about the way you think, especially when it's a lot of them just saying a lot of nothing. You know, you got to have that mental fortitude. And I have the privilege of having some solid friends in the industry, some solid people in the industry that haven't switched up on me, regardless of which platform I was on, regardless of my takes. Everybody, the ones that accept the true, authentic me, to see them, they still come around. They're growing, my content's growing, and we're not piggybacking off of nobody else stuff. We do authentic content, and people appreciate it. People appreciate it. We don't have to ride off nobody else subscriber base, none of that. Everything we do is organic. So I appreciate the AAA community for supporting. And we always keep our doors open. You know, it's a lot of people. I've been seeing them lurk. There's been a lot of people that used to be, around here. They used to be loud in the chat. And now, because of some things that's transpired and they've been on the other side of some of these strays that we've been popping off, some of these rounds we've been popping off, they on the other side of it secretly. And I think they think if they come back and say something publicly that something bad gonna happen. I don't hold grudges, man. I just want people to be accountable. Be accountable for who you are and what you do. All right. That's what we do. Authenticity above all. Accountability. All a part of it. But once again, I appreciate y'all for being here on the Coach Smook Network. Again, shout out to the Facebook interaction, man. Deron Jones, Christian Ballard, BJ Flowers. Thank y'all for tapping in and supporting the Coach Smook Network, man. Y'all just don't know, man. The support it goes a long way. At YouTube, we still got 72 people in the chat, man. Continue running the likes up before you get up out of here. And that's all we need. We just need y'all to run them likes. We beg for likes, man. We beg for likes. Don't forget, man, to check out the merch here on the Coach Smook Network as we get ready to close out. Make sure you check out the merch. ! Merch, MERCH in the chat if you want to get the link to the merch site. Get you some of that merch. It's still on sale right now. We still got discounts. So make sure y'all go in and check it out. Support, represent the AAA community. Don't forget tonight. What time is our show tonight? We got Alabama at the Voice of College Football tonight over there on the Alabama at the Voice of College Football. It will be streamed over here, so y'all can pull up over here and definitely tap in, continue to support on this side. But also make sure you subscribe over there. It helps the channel. Make sure you're liking on both sides. It don't matter which side, which chat you're in. As long as you're in there chatting, it's going to help the network grow. My boy Jackson said it's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So yeah, we got enough time. Well, I'm about to pull the game out today, man. We got to get some edits done real quick. I think I'm gonna jump on the game. NCAA, it takes some frustration out on some. Hopefully, it's some kids at home today that stay home from school sick, because I need a dub. I need a dub on NCAA. Outside of that, man, shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank y'all for supporting the Coach Smook Network and becoming partners with the Coach Smook Network. We appreciate you and everything that you do in supporting the Coach Smook Network. That's Yawn Apparel. 4 more subscribers to reach 3,400. Oh, wow. We only need 4 more subscribers to reach 3,400. If you're not subscribed to this channel, man, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It's absolutely free. Becoming a member is what costs, and that's totally up to you. We're not requiring people to do that. If you do that, that's by your own doing, and I appreciate you for that. It goes a long way. But we're only 4 more subscribers away from 3.4K, which is crazy because we literally were just celebrating 3.3K, I think last Thursday before kickoff, last Wednesday or Thursday before kickoff. So that'd be crazy if we doing 100 a week. That'd be awesome to have those type of numbers and be doing that type of growth here. That means y'all doing something special over there, sharing the name, sharing the content, doing what we do. But I think that's all we got for y'all today. Again, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll be live with the voice of Alabama at the Voice of College Football, talking Alabama versus ULM, breaking it down, giving our predictions over there. I'm gonna go watch some more film, get some edits done, and I'm gonna be on the TikTok side gaming. So y'all can pull up on TikTok. If you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok. It ain't nothing wrong with TikTok. Are you seasoned people in the community? Ain't nothing wrong with TikTok. What's up, Kareem? Good to see you in the chat, man. Tapping in. I see you, my boy. Welcome in. Welcome in. Well, we got Alabama Primetime Live, episode 27 tonight, 6 p.m. on the Alabama at the Voice of College Football. Make sure y'all tap in. And once again, man, I love y'all for pulling up and supporting. Give yourself a hand. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be blessed.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Better go subscribe. You do roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smook. Through the game, roll the tide.